What is happening? Like, why is so much stuff dropping today?
Hold on.
Start of the Godzilla fiscal year.
I mean, literally next week, it's going to be the anniversary of 2014.
I guess it makes sense, but you'd think they'd almost want to wait for it to hit the anniversary and release it on then, but I'm not complaining, I guess.
I'm downloading this upload, so...
You'd think so. Oh, no.
Yeah, someone needs to check the stream, because that seems to happen often enough that Titano is the only one they can't hear.
Oh, checking stream. Oh, shit, it's live.
Levels, okay. I'm audible now.
We can hear you. We can hear you, Titano.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Wait, no, it hasn't started. Wait, it did start. Oh my god, it did start.
I said we can hear you on the stream.
Whoops.
Although someone's echoing, apparently.
Oh, am I echoing?
I don't know.
Probably.
Am I?
Because I've got the stream muted, and I've got headphones in.
Oh, I've got the stream muted too. Oh, I've just realised since we have our server avatars, I have the photograph of the blackbird I took at the museum the Shinden's at. Okay, that's pretty cool.
I wonder if... Yes, there we go. That resets this.
That'll be...
I think we might have an audio cut. Shoot.
Hello.
Oh, I can hear audio in the.
Oh, now we can hear. There we go. Apparently, it's back.
Now it's working.
Chicken
I'm working on it.
I'm working on it.
All right.
Who wrote that? Who wrote that?
It would not be a Wikizilla stream without technical difficulties, so.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, now we can formally begin.
I'm at work right now. Bada bing, bada boom.
For the past 7 hours or so, my sick ass has been sustained entirely through the invigorating power of news about a new Godzilla movie.
Now we can't get monetized.
It's so exciting. Like there's been a massive drop of stuff today, like incredibly quickly as well. And I think you guys are going to be excited for this. And I'm saying this as if everyone here probably doesn't already know what's going on. So yeah.
Yeah, truly.
We will be covering news about the new movie as well as other news that dropped today. There's a surprising amount of it, and news from the recent past.
Yeah, including the new comics that have been previewed.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we go to the next slide?
Sure.
Let's begin. Oh, we've got a...
We have a rogue Windows Explorer window. And unfortunately, our avatars are cutting off some text. Shall I resize that real quick?
If you so wish.
Yeah,
might be helpful.
Let me put it up here or something.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
open the browser is probably better. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that's good. That's cushy. At last, we can stop calling it Zeus. We have a name. Finally.
I love how people.
Were we calling it Zeus? I wasn't paying attention.
Yes, we were calling it Zeus. That was the production title. Just like how, if I remember correctly, 2014 was Nautilus. I don't remember what Kong Skull Island.
I was calling it Yet Another One.
And yet
That
another
was-
one? Oh,
Yeah.
we'll get to him in a bit.
I love how the chat, for some reason, is making Minecraft movie references, and I don't know why, but whatever floats your boat.
Gen Alpha,
It's just
I don't know.
automatic. We streamed Minecraft once. That's enough of a connection.
Yeah.
The only thing that's I've internalized from the Minecraft movie is I was talking with a friend about it, and then he said, "Imagine being queer baited by the Minecraft movie. It's like losing chess to a dog."
Queer baited how?
People really like Steve and Jason Momoa's character.
I mean, I didn't get any sense of chemistry from the trailers, but
Um,
sure.
The second I saw their close quarters maneuvering during the Elytra scene, I knew that what was going to happen.
Dear God.
Anyways,
Yeah. Anyway.
This day has been mad since the trailer dropped, and it's not stopped.
It's just been a non-stop ride of new things.
Very interesting idea, Serpent Knight. I'm not certain about that.
Okay. We have to do this. I will have to leave in 15 minutes.
Okay, let's go.
Here we go.
No longer do we have to call it Zeus. We finally have the title Godzilla Kong Supernova. Or
This is the
Godzilla
second
X Kong.
time
whatever.
Legendary has released a video with exclusive footage just to announce the title of the movie. The last time it was a tour through the Scar King's lair, which turned out to be much smaller in the actual movie.
But
This time we didn't actually get to see the enemy monster's face, but we got a whole lot of Easter eggs to comb through, which for me is vastly more interesting.
Yes.
one thing that I would like to point out is that we have a confirmation that we will have Monarch sets in, like, sort of office whatevers. Means that the sets are definitely built, and that with filming commencing and all that, they definitely took the time to use this set, which is probably going to appear in the film. And while this shot is probably not going to be in the film itself,
Legend
know.
doesn't.
that'd be funny.
That would be genuinely hilarious.
That'd be very, very funny.
the teaser scene for King of the Monsters with Maddie responding to the calling out to the Monarch, whatever. That wasn't in the movie, was it?
Yeah, I don't think that was in the movie.
I think they just decided to cut that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was like a deleted scene or something.
I remember also they had to like hastily re-upload that because there was a camera in one of the shots.
Regardless, the fact that they've got this built set leads me to believe that this is going to be a set that we see in the film, especially with some of the photos that we'll see at the desk we zoom in on.
Easter
Monarch
egg
Call
time.
Hunter, blah, blah, blah.
All right,
Next
shall we
slide,
advance?
please. Yes.
Let's go to this one.
All right, thank you to April for scrutinizing the text on the TV monitors. I made out the one on the right, not the one on the left.
The one on the left was legitimately quite funny because I was there at the same time, and it's like as I was gradually putting it together, I thought, okay, so it mentions Las Vegas. So I thought, have they rebuilt Las Vegas finally after like the events of 2014? Because those are clearly meant to be based on the Luxor resort. But then I realized gradually, Vegas investors to revitalize Giza Plateau, they've literally taken control of the Great Pyramid and built a casino next to it. That's literally what they've done.
Absolutely nightmarish.
To be fair, as we were talking in the pre-stream, Godzilla and Kong kind of did stomp all over history.
Maybe they're
Yeah,
maybe they're my first idea was did they make like Mecca pyramids in Egypt
Yeah, like
To be honest, they look like.
That's the real villain, the Sphinx from Godzilla Unleashed DS.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Godzilla Unleashed later on. I suspect.
The Sphinx also shows up in Spectre-Man as an antagonist, and it's literally the Sphinx that became like a living thing. So you never know. It's topical.
Also, there's no ruling out that the Vegas investors aren't landlords. Could be apartments.
That's true.
Truth be told, with this black and green color scheme, looks like the Borg have invaded.
Okay, so
but
this did we already mention to keep Kong and carry on?
Yeah,
we did not. I love it.
I like it too. I would absolutely
Where
have
are they
that as a
keeping
mug
them?
and have my cups of tea in it.
Honestly, they better start selling that on Legendary's store if they don't have one.
I feel like it'd be simple enough to customize.
Well, that's also true. Still.
And there's
little Godzilla bobblehead, which doesn't seem to be a prop, like something that you can get store bought. Seems to be a custom prop.
Yeah.
And it seems to be different from Evolved.
Yeah.
Gone are the extra spikes and the elbow things and the Thagomizer. Now a sort of teal green look with what looks to be flecks of white on the spines. Which, oh my god, if I have willed bone white spines into existence for the Monsterverse, I'm gonna dance in the street.
Yeah.
Serpent Knight says there's Godzilla Domination in the GBA 2. Everybody forgets that one. I've never forgotten it. It's
nor have
probably the Godzilla game I've played the most.
I love you.
Oh, and
then
I was wondering, since this isn't like a real Funko Pop or whatever, if it's like that thing where the SpongeBob episodes with Patchy the Pirate, where Patchy destroyed his room, they couldn't use any real SpongeBob merchandising in the episode.
Oh yes, they had to make a bunch of original stuff, didn't they?
This is definitely an original prop. From what people have said online, at the very least, it appears to be original.
Trust us, we exhaustively catalog the stuff for fun.
Indeed.
just like the recent Shinden profile, which seems to have been received very well. Though there were a few people who forgot it was April Fools and were saying, "Oh, we got a plane before." Any insert monster here, which was kind of
we got a plane before GTA 6. Anyway,
we got a plane before Wong Magui got a profile.
God, we got a plane before Shimo, which is kind of funny. So
True.
Oh, and
there's Patchy.
Yeah, this is all not bootleg or not legit merch. There was some sort of law against advertising products during shows
so those are all
or something.
literally brand new things that were made by the production team.
Well, we saw Playmates figures in the last movie, so that can't be a limitation here.
Okay.
Maybe someone just in the production just made a custom Godzilla figure and they decided to put it in the movie, like they had it previously.
Thank you for the $5, Cameron Amcad Wiskovich. I can't believe Sephiroth is directing the new GXK movie. He's finally going to give us this pair.
I can't believe
there will be a supernova sequence, and it will take 3 minutes to complete.
I can't believe Sephiroth is Australian. All right, are we ready to advance?
I think we are.
The Sedona slide.
Yes, indeed. Not a ton to say here, but the computer that the camera pushes in on is receiving a call from Sedona, Arizona, which is where Scylla emerged in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Outpost
Scylla is extremely dead, so we're not sure what the relevance of this is.
I mean, unless it was a different Scylla member of Scylla's species, which...
Here's how Scylla can still win.
I know it would be genuinely hilarious if they retcon Scylla's death from GXK out and they actually do confirm that it was a different monster. Because
I know some people. I remember hearing that, or reading or whatever, that one of the VFX supervisors or something said Charybdis instead of Scylla.
Yeah, that comes up in a lot of interviews with the VFX folks. That seems to be the plan, have been the plan originally, but then they just made it Scylla later on.
I mean, could still be true. I don't know. Maybe they'll retcon that because they didn't exactly name it Scylla on screen.
Stupid question. Where did Kumonga come up from in Final Wars?
It was New Guinea,
Arizona.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it actually does.
Arizona, actually, yeah.
During the initial rampage, it does attack Arizona, and I do wonder if that was a reference.
That would be interesting.
And it being Outpost 55 is generally interpreted as a reference to Tarantula, which came out in 55.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's cool if as hypothesized, if they throw out the rule of you have to license out the individual monsters, then they could like just throw in little Easter eggs like that.
Throw in our D tiers.
Thank you for the $4.99 Richard Cardamone. I've always headcanon that most of the human villains are aliens in disguise, so I wonder if they'll bring back Scar King as an alien robot.
They'll call him Star King, like you said.
Yeah, Star King.
Perfect. Got it in one.
I love it.
Also, another thing worth noting is that the Godzilla X Kong the Hunted prequel comic does explicitly identify the monster Godzilla kills in Rome as Scylla. Prequel comics canonicity is a pretty mixed bag, but I think that does show intent on Legendary's part.
They put a Craven in that one.
Ooga. Next slide then, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I will say the response code 1031. I do wonder if that means we're gonna get something on Halloween.
Yes, that could be quite funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does anyone want to squint at this Monarch Slash channel with me and read the dialogue?
Yes, I will.
All right,
who do you want to take? I'll take me.
I'll go with Ryan, I guess.
How self-referential.
Ready for another thrilling day of Your Call is Very Important to Us?
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to say the same thing 37 times before lunch.
Did you hear that they changed the hold music again? It's somehow worse.
No, what is it this time?
Imagine elevator music, but composed by someone who's never felt joy.
Perfect. That'll really soothe the person who's been on hold for 45 minutes.
Sir, I understand you're upset, but at least you get to experience our exclusive hold playlist.
A service only a select few have the patience to enjoy.
Death by hold music.
So, I do want to share this.
All right, we finally did a script rating. You're welcome.
Yeah,
I want to share this. I sent the trailer into another chat, and then my friend went to call the number and screenshot it after they got through the MON part, and it was 666. And she said, "Why did I gasp?"
M, O, and N are all on the same number on the little.
Yeah, just happens
the
they're all
dial pad.
6. Yep. They're all, and then I sent Destroya to the chat and be like, maybe we'll get her, and it's like probably not.
Oh, by the way, thank you for the $2, Richard Cardamone. I also feel they killed Ghidorah too early.
Yep.
Yeah, this is.
It
does feel like
they
he was
kind of jumped
introduced
the
a bit
truck.
too early. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get Emperor Ghidorah like they wanted to do in the 90s.
Oh my god.
Grand King.
Maybe we'll.
No, Grand King is different.
Ultraman.
No, there was Grand King Ghidorah, but originally they did so the Ghidorah in the Heisei timeline's a mutant, but then they planned to do one that was an alien that was going to be Emperor Ghidorah, where he was the same thing but different, and then they were like, "That's stupid. We're not doing that."
Hey, it's like maybe we'll finally get Mogu and have the Return of King Ghidorah, the Showa version that was.
Hell yeah! First movie to make $3.
Three.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. coming in clutch.
God.
Reese McAvoy is suggesting that we call Monarch on the stream. That sounds wonderful, but it may be beyond our technical capabilities.
Not necessarily.
Their microphone.
Actually, no. It's 100% possible. I did it during an earlier call.
I'm listening.
Thank you
I am
for
going
calling the Monarch Community Support Hotline, your global resource for Titan response and relief. Your help reporting Titan sightings plays a critical role in keeping our world safe. Please press 1 to receive text messages from the Monsterverse and to hear further options.
I have to go back to work now. Bye.
Sorry. I'm sorry. But that was just the original sort of dial 1, well, sort of the opening thing. I will let the I'll let the rest of yous find out for yourselves what the other options are.
I think at the end of the stream we should have the audience voice vote on which monster we report an attack from.
Isaiah, I don't think Zeton's within the realm of possibility. That's owned by a completely different company.
Yes. Oh, you never know. Maybe he's just cosplaying Zet, and he has to repeat his name.
That is fair.
Compelling.
Zeton.
Maguma.
I mean, I guess technically the Shin Ultraman version of Zeton would be just within our scope, but I still think that'd be something better suited for an Ultra Series channel.
Yeah, very much so.
One of the few characters who could credibly oppose the gigantic army Godzilla and Kong have assembled at this point.
Alan Carrillo, I can confirm someone has called in Giant Condor.
Yes, that was me.
And that someone was ABB.
Listen, if Les's theory that Legendary hasn't decided on the monster yet and is just waiting for people to call in, we can rig another poll in the Giant Condor's favor. I believe in us.
I think I'm gonna probably make some extra calls. Honestly, report some cryptids, as it were.
Sounds fun.
There's a big iguana tearing through Madison Square Garden.
I mean, I was going to sort of pull for my own thesis film, as it were.
Instead of running, people are arguing over whether it should be called Godzilla.
I think I saw Gigantus over there, by the way, guys.
All right.
Next one.
Firesight says, I find it funny Monarch has Discord-like groups. I think this is actually meant to be like a rip-off or like a emulation.
To me, it looks more like Slack. Yeah.
Oh, can we zoom out on the presentation a little? Some of the names are cut off.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they are? Where? Oh, sorry.
On the bottom.
No! Sorry. How do I...
Uh-oh.
No.
Spoilers on the rest of... Oh, dang it.
Pigpen says, calling in Methuselah and getting blocked by Legendary.
Anyways, Trapper, who still doesn't have a confirmed surname yet.
He actually is called Beasley in the novelization. I find it funny they're just kind of ignoring that.
I would have found it much funnier if his surname was Trapper and his first name was Hunter, so his full name was Hunter Trapper.
That's like a Pokemon name. Like a gym leader name.
Hunter Trapper?
That's the kind of lame brain naming scheme they use.
I mean, it would be kind of funny.
But thank you, Richard Cardamon, for 5 again. My hope for the end of the Monsterverse is a massive alien invasion apocalypse, and Destroyer is also there. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Destroyer would make sense as like the final
Destroyer would make
antagonist.
sense, yeah. I mean, I've had my thoughts on it myself. Legendary, call me.
I think because they've just kind of brushed past the Oxygen Destroyer and it never actually killed Godzilla, it would be kind of... Destroyer just wouldn't have the same impact if they introduced it.
Teddy Oren says Trapper Trapper and his brother Luigi Trapper.
Good one. For referencing the best Mario movie.
Yes.
Reese
No, I will
McAvoy
not be
says
taking
everyone
questions.
knows where they were during the Mechagodzilla toy leaks of 2020, which I may add we had absolutely nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Oh,
oops.
We accidentally revealed. Sorry, Legendary.
Oops.
That's.
Anyways, Trapper, Eileen Andrews, Helen Hampton, Rick Stanton, and Jay Jorgensen. From
Worth noting that of the 4 characters that have appeared in live action, only Trapper's actor, Dan Stevens, has been confirmed to be returning for this new movie. Jay Jorgensen is an interesting one. She appears in a couple of the comics within Monsterverse Declassified, a graphic novel that's publishing next week, actually. She is a very bright Monarch archivist advancing through the ranks. We're told very little about her in the comics, but she got her bachelor's in upstate New York and has a master's in library science, so I already like her.
I was about to say that sounds familiar.
Thank you for the $2, Richard Cardamone. The hell happened to those terrorists from King of the Monsters? They forgot.
They appeared in an underwhelming video game and got beat up by a construction worker.
Yep.
But in the main side of the franchise, they forgot. That's the best way of describing it.
Oh yeah. Oh, and
very true.
Earlier, someone asked. Let me try to find it. Monarch Season 2 and Supernova are cool announcements, but what happened to those other Apple TV spin-off shows they were announced were happening?
We don't know. We've heard nothing.
Nothing.
Rodan Redemption arc for Monsterverse. Let's get that going. I agree. I think it could be cool to see Rodan appear in this film. We had Mothra in the last film. If they're going for a pattern of having veteran monsters come back every 2 films, I think it is Rodan's turn to appear as well.
Okay, and now let's move off from their Discord handles and on to this.
Where
I April, do you want to take this one?
So, noticing that there was a lot of binary code flashing across the screen, I decided to pop into one of the earlier VCs, as a couple of us were doing when as we were just all analyzing the trailer at first, and decided to decode it. Granted, I started sort of halfway through one of the words, halfway through this. So, I-S space S-P-A-C-E, and I freaked out very vocally in VC with a few of us here. And then I decoded the next few letters of binary, G-O-D. Screaming ensued. And then I just kept typing out, and it started repeating and repeating. However, and it's like, Godzilla Kong, watch this space. 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 Godzilla Kong. I'm of the opinion that if they meant to put a space, a period and a space in there, they would have. This has to be intentional.
There is no such thing as a coincidence.
Yep.
Not with these guys.
It feels like too good of a pun as well. Watch this space as well to include, especially in a film named Supernova. It's definitely an alien, and honestly, the odds of it being Space Godzilla, in my opinion, are very, very high.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people remember.
Especially with the color of the glow being that of the corona beam.
I don't know how many people remember when Toho Kingdom would have like odds of a given kaiju appearing in Godzilla Unleashed, but I feel like if they had that for this movie, Space Godzilla would be upwards of 75% or something at this point.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Also, if you haven't seen the quasi short that I gift, get off the stream and watch it right now.
It is a delight. It's genuinely really good.
All these are quasis.
Oh,
I've never been sure.
my mistake.
Well, it's not necessarily a mistake. I just genuinely don't know.
All right.
Anyways,
Next one.
yeah, next slide.
Watch this Space Godzilla Kong. Okay, but can it really be that simple?
Well, the thing is, Binary has its own separate sequence for a space, as in like a break in characters, and that only shows up between Godzilla, Kong. It doesn't show
And
up
all
between
the other
space
words, of
and
course.
Godzilla. Yeah, and all the other words.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't show up between space and Godzilla, so that seems intentional.
Yeah. Yeah, a space is 001 00000. No such character exists in in the sequence except for between Godzilla, Kong, period, launch, and this and space, but not between space and Godzilla.
Yeah.
All right.
Nuclear Goji edits. I hate to break it to you, but that is not an official Monsterverse series.
Yeah.
That is fan work by
There's some
O'Shea
interesting
Jackson Jr. and Chris Mirage.
It's
It is not Monsterverse. It is not even licensed.
Koopa, why is Lockheed looking at us?
Oh, that there is the Stephen F. Udvar Hazy Center's Blackbird. Also, for those of you guys that are fans of the Transformers series, will instantly recognize this plane because it is the one that served as Jetfire in Revenge of the Fallen. So that's the other thing. It's mostly just there because I kind of liked this photograph of the Blackbird I took when I visited last year. You can get pretty much right up close to it, and I decided to take a shot from head on. So, yeah, you could say the Blackbird is indeed staring straight through your soul.
All right, so this here is a Devil Advocate slide. Smart money is on Space Godzilla, but there are some things... He does have some things going against him, namely the fact that his only movie was poorly received and barely played in theaters outside of Japan. It would be kind of a coup for a monster who, from an American perspective, only appeared in a direct-to-video movie to suddenly be the star of a Hollywood blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When it comes to alien monsters, Monsterverse has already done Ghidorah. We got a terrestrial Mechagodzilla. So Gigan and Hedra, who are fairly well known, and who had theatrically released movies back in the 70s in the States. They're often the ones who come up. It's also possible, as with IDW's original Godzilla comic, that will get multiple space monsters attacking the planet at once. Which I'm pretty sure most every Godzilla fan would love to see. Just all the old kaiju back together again.
It's like, weirdly enough, Monster X, with his focus on gravity beams and obviously their resemblance to electricity, he could potentially fit the Zeus working title as well, especially considering the way his gravity beams are portrayed, which they are shown to look a lot more like electricity in Final Wars. But I think what he probably has going against him is his connection to a Ghidorah. And while I don't doubt that the Monsterverse could potentially revisit King Ghidorah, I wonder if they'd want to do it a third time after obviously the original appearance, then Mechagodzilla in GBK.
Yeah, there also the consideration, which amazingly has come up in the Godzilla series before, of doing like a third kind of knockoff Godzilla in a row. We had Mechagodzilla and Godzilla vs. Kong, Shimo in the New Empire. Are we really going to have another, like, and another crystalline Godzilla counterpart for that matter, in Supernova?
It's the same discourse which sank Ghost Godzilla from the final Heisei era film.
Exactly.
I feel like there's not enough continuity and the people behind the movies for that to matter, because because
that is true.
Okay.
Back when it was Kawakita and company, they were like, I don't want to do another. Do we really want to do another Godzilla? But here it's like different director. The people who knows shift around. So yeah.
Plus, I feel like the current arrangement between Legendary and Toho now, especially now that the period where like Legendary had exclusivity is long since expired, it seems to benefit both companies now to have things set up the way they currently are. So I think there's probably less incentive to try and avoid doing certain things as well. So yeah, for all we know, I don't think the fact that we've had Shimo and Mechagodzilla already would necessarily discount Space Godzilla from appearing.
There's also this Gigan was considered to appear in King of the Monsters as one of the like kind of background titans who bows to Godzilla at the end of the movie.
Yes.
But Legendary realized they would have to pay full price to license every single monster from Toho individually, so they said we're actually going to make up some of our own. And that could very well hold them back again, but I also wonder if Toho is just going to come to its senses and realize literally no other movie franchise operates this way, where every character has to be licensed piecemeal, and we're holding ourselves back by insisting on it. And I also wonder if Legendary will just say, this is worth paying for, this franchise is successful enough, we're going to invest more of these licensing costs into it.
One thing which is definitely apparent is, to a lesser extent with Monster X, but especially with Gigan, Hedorah, and Space Godzilla, is these are all monsters that fans have wanted in the Monsterverse for years, if fan art is anything to go by, or in general, fan material in general. More or less since the moment the Monsterverse started to really go into its expansion phase, people have wanted these monsters to show up in something. So I think Legendary is probably aware of that and have probably given it quite a bit of mind.
Mamma mia.
The last thing is, one of the few things we know about this movie is that they're trying to develop the human cast more, despite also mostly starting from scratch with the human cast. I have to imagine this is because of all the unfavorable comparisons between the New Empire and Godzilla -1. It does seem, unless this movie is like 4 hours long, that is at odds with introducing a gigantic army of familiar monsters. But we'll see.
I will say that did kind of happen with King of the Monsters, introducing a whole lot of monsters all at once and a whole new human cast.
Yes, but I would also say it was not entirely successful in terms of the balance.
That's what I was going to say as well.
It's like we got plenty of human action, and the human plot in King of the Monsters is for the most part pretty decent, but unfortunately we still have this vast cast of new monsters that were introduced in King of the Monsters, and with the exception of Sheila, for example, we really haven't seen that much of them at all. And that's a real shame.
They pulled Ghidorah, the three-headed monsters, without giving Rodan and Mothra their own movie first.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways. Next slide, or?
Next slide, then.
Item number 2. Godzilla goes green.
70th anniversary special footage featuring Godzilla stomping through Southeast Asia.
We're suddenly scared about playing this video because Toho uploaded it like half an hour before we went live. It was just on their socials prior to this. I'm sure y'all can track it down pretty easily. It's a fairly simple, little under 1 minute video of Godzilla stomping through various locations in Southeast Asia, outside of Japan.
We can scrub through the footage.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let me open it up. Stop. Okay, there we go. So.
No audio, mind you, but.
Oh, so did Toho upload it in full quality?
Yeah,
they did.
Uploaded it in high quality.
Yeah, 70 years of Godzilla, a new roar in Southeast Asia.
The thing which is kind of interesting about this is by featuring Singapore, it adds one of a very, very small number of appearances, which is kind of surprising considering how big of an economic power it is in the region, that it doesn't show up in more stuff. The only stuff I can remember it appearing in, tokusatsu-wise, off the top of my head, are actually both very recent, and they're both from the Ultra series. There was Ultraman X, which had a scene set in Singapore in the first episode, when the monsters awaken. And later they did a tourist film, or a mini-series of short films that were exclusively set in the city as well. And that's about it, really. Hasn't really appeared in much else.
Dorsal fins.
It's clear. It is very clearly based on the Ride Godzilla model, but again, it has its own quirks, which is pretty cool.
Look at those kaiju feet.
We're not going to be that channel.
No,
we're repeating the moment where we went absolutely mad over.
I legitimately saw someone online complaining that this looked like it was AI generated. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, AI is not up to this right
it's
now.
Not. AI is not this good.
Close.
Dear God, that is giving AI too much credit. Also, sure, it does look. Sure, it does look kind of like it amalgamates a few traits of different Godzillas, which AI sometimes does. But that's how a lot of Godzilla designs come to be. Truth be told, especially sort of like quickly put together ones or fan ones. Even a lot of fan ones are amalgamations. Even like, come on.
Another detail which is kind of fun is with this short film, we now add another color. Godzilla has fired his atomic breath into the spectrum. The only colors we are currently missing is black, yellow, and brown.
Godzilla, the series, 98, already had green.
Oh yeah, he already had green, yeah.
Yeah,
that is actually very true. I suppose if we're talking live action,
first non-American.
Yeah, first sort of Japanese iteration to be green.
And interesting, I'm getting ahead of myself a little, but an upcoming IDW Godzilla also has a green atomic breath. I'm wondering if that's a coincidence or if there's some sense to it.
That's true, Kaisei
Goji.
I like how the eyes match the glow as well. That's very much in tune with some of the recent Legendary films as well.
Yeah. From the looks of it, this is very much based on the Ride model more so than -1, I'd say.
And of course,
same difference.
With this film being released, it was released without much explanation. My possible ideas on what this is it's either potentially to promote tourism, as all the countries that are featured in this short are popular travel destinations from Japan, or as it's mentioned in the slide as well, it could potentially be essentially like a taster for these economies, with Toho's intentions to expand into this market. So, it could be one of those two.
Indeed.
Les brought up something about the financing of the Southeast Asia thing. Isn't that right? that gives maybe some more context?
Yes. Let me quickly pull up Discord. Here we go. Right, so Les says, I did a tiny bit of research into the Southeast Asia thing earlier today. One of the logos at the end is Igloo Studio, a production company based out of Thailand that had a 32% stake be acquired by Toho Global at the end of 2023. The other logo besides Toho itself is Toho Entertainment Asia, a Singapore-based subsidiary founded last year, giving some further context behind the celebration of Southeast Asia.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a link for that. I can just put that in
Oh,
chat.
I already did.
Oh, okay,
Cool.
good.
Oh yeah, Igloo Studio. They've been around since 2007. They've done a rather famous animated film in Thailand, and they did some work on or rather, not did some work. They produced an animated series on Netflix.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty impressive work they've done here.
Oh yes,
All right, next slide.
props to them.
Mr. Slime Guy says, can you guys do an hour long of Pachimon history? I don't think we could do an hour long of it, but I think it could be a fun subject, maybe somewhere down the line, as they are a quirky bunch.
Yeah, I liked all the clear and flagrant copyright infringing ripoffs.
Yeah. Delightful copyright infringement.
Item #3 Godzilla rides again. In addition to directing the next Godzilla feature for Toho, the indefatigable Tamasha...
Indefatigable.
You've fallen into my trap.
Indefatigable Takashi Yamazaki will be at the helm of a second Godzilla ride attraction, opening this summer.
Oh, we're trading it out. It will be distributed to multiple locations that use the iRide Flying Theater system by Brogent Technologies instead of just one Japanese theme park. That is all we know apart from the single image that Toho has shared. Now, the iRide Theater system, I looked into this a little, and I'm not sure if their website has a complete list of everywhere it's installed, but some of the locations are in... Let's see...
Oh yeah, and
There's
multiple monsters.
There's one in Europa Park in Germany. There's one in Taipei, Taiwan. There's one, this looks like Queensland, Australia, where they film most of the Monsterverse movies. That's appropriate.
But still, we have yet to actually see the Monsterverse set foot in Australia, which is equally kind of funny.
Right, we were talking about that before we left line. Went online, live. I cannot talk. The only two Kaiju Renaissance movies to go to Australia so far. Well, actually, it's both Pacific Rims, although Uprising spent more time there. And for about 5 seconds, Godzilla Planet of the Monsters.
Yeah, and within the Monsterverse itself, the closest we've ever got to Australia actually appearing is the Tasman Sea, and in that entire sequence where the Navy battle takes place, you don't get a single sight of Australia. It's so far into the ocean that it could be just about anywhere en route to Antarctica, really. You know. Lord Kaiju X says, isn't Skull Island basically Australia? I mean, they have a big spider, so I guess, maybe.
It's a weird blend of Vietnam, Hawaii, and Australia in this rendition. It's interesting how they did it. Like, there are some shots where it's the mountains from one region, and the actors are walking in another.
Yeah.
The other locations of these iRides are in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Let's see, Bloomington, Minnesota, on the Mall of America, and Vancouver, Canada, where Godzilla 2014 was partially filmed.
It's an interesting mix of locations.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if this is all of them or just some of the ones they're highlighting. But if it's in Minnesota, I'll make that trip.
Next. Oh, someone asked, doesn't the sequel to the 1998 Godzilla take place in Australia? Yeah, it was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
If they made it.
Reese McAvoy says the UK never gets any cool Godzilla stuff. Well, funnily enough, the monitor sequence in this teaser mentions both London and Scotland. So, you never know, we might actually finally see the UK appear in the Monsterverse, which would be kind of fun.
Would be fun. I also, Rob Adler says Cleveland/Lake Erie needs a kaiju. And I mentioned this earlier, but in the chat, that is. But if only It Hit Cleveland were made.
Yes.
If only. That would have been a riot.
We got some quality Lake Michigan Godzilla representation recently with Godzilla vs. Chicago, but Lake Erie, well, it got blown up in the anime trilogy timeline.
Oh yeah.
All the Great Lakes got turned into one.
Got nuked into oblivion.
Hell yeah.
The Great Lake.
The inland sea, we could call it, and it's the American version of the Sato Inland Sea now, except it's horrendously radioactive.
All right, we should probably talk about these comics at some point.
Yes, we should.
We are in the midst of an unprecedented onslaught of Godzilla comics, unprecedented until July, that is. We have 5 issues, to wit, they are Godzilla vs. Los Angeles, Godzilla vs. Spider-Man, Godzilla Heist number 3, Godzilla vs. X-Men, and I believe Mothra, Queen of the Monsters number 3, releasing in this... Oh, in addition to the free comic book day promo, and the graphic novel Monsterverse Declassified, those are coming out in the span of 22 days. Please pray for us as we try to chronicle all of this on the site.
Yeah,
And
especially
in
when
18 days... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, especially please be patient when we're under DDoS attacks constantly, forcing us...
Oh dear.
Forcing the users
It
to
really is quite a
require
challenge.
to prove that you're not a robot every time you want to access. I mean, we're working with the people to try to make it so that that stays off of the site.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that, but it's
Unfortunately, if Katsura Mifune decides she wants to edit Wikizilla, she's going to have a hard time.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, in 18 days, Godzilla Galaxy Odyssey is going to launch. While it has no US distributor, it certainly has a lot of art teasing it, including a cover featuring a rather interesting, somewhat slim-looking Godzilla design and a very clearly flying Gotengo/Atragon design with a drill that reminds me of Gurren Lagann.
Yes.
There's also some sort of original monster in this one, name to be revealed, or has the name been revealed? There's a lot to keep track of right now. Let me check our page.
I think the thing which just genuinely shows just how much the brand has expanded in the West over the last few years is we have IDW, we have DC, and we have Marvel all supporting Godzilla comic series now. That's 3 of the biggest Western comics publishers all in partnership with Toho, and that's genuinely a really cool thing to see.
3 of the biggest. As far as I'm concerned, they are the big 3 when it comes to
big 3
comics. Yeah.
So to have all 3 members of the big 3 at once, that's one heck of a licensing deal.
Yeah.
One heck of a 3 licensing deals. Yeah.
Comic book sales are pretty opaque to
3
us
hecks
these
of a
days.
license.
Those sales aren't really reported anymore. But judging from the number of times Godzilla has been on the cover of IDW's monthly title catalogs, I feel like he's propping the company up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Indeed. Can't wait to see if Godzilla and Sonic crossover. That'd be something.
Ooh,
That is what a lot of people were speculating before the Power Rangers crossover.
Of course, but maybe someday. That would... Honestly, I'd love to see that.
There's mentions a handful of comics have also gotten second runs, which is pretty notable. Yeah, I'd agree with that too.
Oh, Les, since we're doing this, can you bring up the Godzilla, whatever it was, global plan from Toho?
Oh, yeah, the revitalization plan or something.
We might as well look at it at the end. And so, I also wanted to look at all the covers for the Godzilla comics because they are amazing. While we're on the topic, just flash them on screen. Oops. Let me re-authenticate. No. I'm not a robot.
You gotta click.
Or you've got to build a robot that presses the mouse button for you, like that one video of the one solving a captcha and then just staring at a camera.
What? You think I'm a robot? Oh my god, it's unfortunate.
I will say, personally, I'm not so big on the spines for Galaxy Odyssey. Just me personally.
They are curiously crystalline. I wonder if that's going to be a plot point.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
They
also just feel very sparse. You know what I mean?
Oops.
Like, it's only got 3 big spines on his back.
Amazing.
Like, what happened?
Okay, well, Les found the document. I don't know. We don't want to. Let's get through the covers first. If they're allowed.
Yeah.
This was also the document people were citing that claimed that it was that the film Toho is currently working on was going to be a direct sequel to -1, when that isn't actually mentioned at all in the midterm document.
It's definitely likely, but they haven't actually confirmed it yet.
Yeah, it's like I feel like with it's probably more than likely is going to be a direct sequel, but at the moment none of that's confirmed.
All right, finally. So, we have Godzilla vs. Spider-Man. No spoilers, everybody. If anyone, are you all seeing this like in real time, like what when I'm talking?
Yep.
There's a slight delay just because I'm watching this through the stream, but yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if there's anyone you want to particularly highlight.
I ended up getting just the bog standard cover A, which I thought was pretty cool. Would have gotten that one if my shop had it. The one where Spidey's descending from the Statue of Liberty. That was a foil cover.
It does look.
And of course, we have the return of the classic Marvel design as well, which is also genuinely really cool.
Yeah.
In the cover art, especially at least.
Oh,
yeah, it's a homage to one of the issues where he fought cowboys for some reason.
and for anyone who likes this design, YMSF has come out with a Green Monster toy. It's not Godzilla, it's Green Monster.
Not to be confused with the scoreboard up in Boston.
Green Monster versus Big Fella, who would win?
God.
See, Green Monster.
And then they'll have to.
Oops.
Then they'll have to fight the uncanny embryo to decide who is the definitive knockoff.
Are here and accounted.
Oh, Googling in Japanese. Very impressive.
Indeed.
I'm advanced. See so YMSF made it looks really good. There hasn't been a Marvel Godzilla figure officially yet, aside from this from YMSF, which is like semi-official.
Unofficial. Well, sure.
Yeah, it's
curve up.
Really beautiful figure, and it's like 7 inches tall. So.
Oh yeah, it is with some Movie Monster series. The little manlet destroyer.
That's that destroyer. Oh, let's see. Godzilla versus. Sorry. We got ooh. Okay, so I guess it's not a spoiler. I haven't read it yet, but.
Oh.
And we got
that was a extremely fun comic.
There's more. Godzilla versus Marvel.
I saw Black Cat.
Oh yeah. If you don't want to know what happens in this comic, just let your eyes go out of focus before we can get away from this screen.
We got Godzilla versus Fantastic Four. Godzilla versus Hulk. We've seen.
Oh, his neck looks very long there.
Yeah,
whoa!
This is horrifying.
That is extremely horrifying. What the? No.
His neck's broken.
No. Neck broken, hands something, jaw, head broken.
And then we got a standard kind of cover with Godzilla versus Avengers. And we got GMK Goji, Godzilla versus Thor. And then the key art for Godzilla versus Marvel.
I very much appreciate the classic Thor logo.
Yeah.
Also, the key art for that one, that is totally Kiryu-Goji, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely looks like it.
Yeah, with the more rounded snout and such.
I find it.
You can kind of tell it's a snout and eyebrows. You can tell it apart from G2K.
I find it so
other
interesting.
than being gray.
More Godzilla versus Fantastic Four. Godzilla versus Thing. It's clobbering time.
I like how it's styled, like the classic film posters.
Yeah. Watang.
You know what would have been very funny though? If they styled it off of the original poster for Godzilla versus the Thing.
Ah, yeah, so they have to cover,
cover Mothra, except they don't use Mothra, and they use instead its massive tentacles.
The Peach Momoko cover was the one I ended up getting for this one.
And then there's the interior previews. Next one, Godzilla vs. Hulk.
Interesting thing about the Fantastic Four comic, it actually gives a origin to King Ghidorah that has not been explored in any other media, and actually briefly shows his home planet, explaining that he wiped out all life on it, which is how he got Galactus's attention.
Oh, he's taking his time loading, but I mean,
yeah, I don't know if we should go through all these covers.
No, yeah, I mean, y'all can.
If anything,
on Wikizilla to see them, but
yeah. If anything, may we direct your attention to our website.
Absolutely.
Wikizilla.org.
We are more than just a YouTube channel, after all. We do have many delightful things to show you.
All right, so moving on.
We have such sights to show you.
Item hashtag
If you know,
5.
you know.
Godzilla destroys the Marvel Universe and your wallet. Take it away.
So I mentioned that July would bring more Godzilla comics, and yeah, this is what awaits us, apart from several other series wrapping up. IDW is wrapping up its Here There Be series with Godzilla Here There Be Aliens, set in the 1950s. I am not a huge fan of putting Godzilla in settings before the invention of nuclear weapons, but we're finally entering the atomic age with this series, and I'm looking forward to see him stomp through American suburbia. The other comics listed from IDW are all part of the Kaisei era. These are ongoing comics with no finite end, and they are all going to take place in the same universe, one in which Godzilla has been stomping around since 1954, and Japan and the US have very divergent ways on how to deal with him. Starship Godzilla seems to only be putting Godzilla's name in the title for brand recognition. It actually follows a crew of humans and aliens on board Mechagodzilla, traveling the stars and encountering various Toho aliens. Legendary...
Seems there's going to be a cat collection of kaiju eggs seems to be a plot point, and cool badass girl. Awesome.
It really is a joy just how many just series have popped up. Really, if there is no shortage of variety to enjoy, I would say.
Yeah.
Speaking of, from Legendary, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2, good God, that's a mouthful, will be starting soon. This time, the heroes are traveling to the Monsterverse, by and large, instead of the other way around. Some of them are becoming kaiju themselves. Harley Quinn is there. I'm hopeful for it, even if I didn't particularly care for the last one. And we are... Skull Island has evidently been canceled at Netflix. We will not be getting a season 2. They're going to continue the story in comic book form instead. Brian Duffield, the showrunner, had apparently written the second season, but there's a different writer on this comic. Go figure. And Legendary is also actually running a Kickstarter right now. I'll drop the link for it, for a graphic novel spinning off of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which will promise to show, among other things, the actual Ion Dragon attack on the USS Lawton.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh, that is pretty cool.
If I recall correctly,
Finally.
it's quite far through funding. It just needs a little bit more.
Not many days left though. It's only 5 more days.
Let me open it up. So
I gotta say, I really love the look of Kaisei Goji's design. Those red dot eyes. That absolutely scraggled, beardy-ish sort of scraped chin.
they need a 13.
Thanos chin, I suppose. Yeah.
13K more with 5 days to go.
Whoa. I hope someone pulls through. You know?
And they're... Oh, what?
I just remembered. We gotta talk about the Drew Johnson art for Mokele Mbembe at some point.
Must we?
Yes.
I actually don't know the context here. What's this Drew Johnson art of Mokele Mbembe look like? Sorry for forcing the discussion, but it seems
I know it heavily
discussion's getting forced.
diverges from what the legend of Mokele is meant to be like.
Yeah. So.
Fear.
Where can I find it? I just let's see. Mokele
Mbembe.
Someone help me!
Let me see if I can find it in the. Here we.
Thanks, Les. He opened it. Open link. Okay, so here is the artwork for Mokele Mbembe that Drew Edward Johnson drew as a commission for one of the Kickstarters. So one of the higher reward tiers was a personalized commission from Drew Edward Johnson, who drew a lot of the Godzilla Monsterverse comics, like Aftershock, etc. And so
is that ammo look on the
yes, that's
left side there?
Ammo look
He
on
barely.
the left.
The thing about this, which I think got many people confused, is the positioning of the arms. Like, people were unsure if those were legs or arms. I think like the bit that's a bit odd is it's probably just due to the perspective here, but it almost looks like he's got his left arm behind his like right leg, and you know that's a bit strange.
It's difficult to look at.
It's very difficult to look at.
This is an interpretation of the design as described in the Godzilla King of the Monsters novelization. Mokele Mbembe, for those who don't know, is an African sauropod-like cryptid who was a titan and one of the unseen titans in King of the Monsters. And this is what the description given of it is, and this is the artwork that
do we know the artist for that particular piece?
Oh yes, I used the video. I used it in the King of the Monsters Other Titans video, and credited.
Ooh, yeah, we gotta update that one.
Wait, let me just find it.
Yeah,
but yeah, let's leave this up on screen for everyone to bask in while I find it.
Glorious.
So the thing is, so we found out, by we I mean Super Godzilla Gaming asked that whether basically if these designs from the commissions, if the requesters asked for one of the unseen titans, if that would be considered an official design. And basically the response they got from Legendary was that not really, it's just Drew Edward Johnson's interpretation, and they're not beholden to this design at all. So
it's like, honestly speaking, I think that's for the best. As much as this design is quite cool, it's another tentacle humanoid, or another tentacle monster essentially, and we already have more than a fair few of these in the minor Titans ranks at the moment. I think it would be cool if the design actually was closer to the novel description. Just because it would shake things up just to have a monster which isn't as heavily designed, you could say.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this artwork is re-uploaded a lot, so anyways, I keep going all squirrel on us, sorry.
I thought my keyboard could be loud.
Okay, let me see. Mokele. Okay. I found it.
A massive.
Nice.
It's Beastrider 9. That's the artist.
Shout out to Beastrider 9.
here we go. There it is. Alrighty, so anyway, enough squirrel.
I don't even remember what slide we're on.
We're on Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe and Your Wallet.
This is a different slideshow. There we go. Alright. Yes, not content to fight one superhero or team at a time in the Godzilla vs. Marvel series, Godzilla will evidently be going for everyone in Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. Not the first series Marvel has done with that title format. They tend to be fairly ridiculous, and a lot of people die.
Alrighty, so if you people want to see Iron Dragon, better cough up those $13,000 in 5 days.
Gotta love crowdfunding.
Item number 6: local wiki editors' prayers answered.
Titan Books / Inside Editions, I think they have different distribution deal depending on the country, are going to be publishing Monarch Files, a Monsterverse manual, which after over a decade of continuity will hopefully bring some much needed clarity to what is and ain't canonical in the Monsterverse. Apart from like various basic charts shown at conventions, we haven't really seen a substantial effort to do this aside from the Evil Genius Games RPG books, which are very focused on Kong and Skull Island, not so much the Godzilla side of things. And that is coming out next April. We'll just ignore that the footprint in that Titan preparation is key poster looks like the one for Shin Godzilla. Continuity issues already.
It is the one from Shin Godzilla, just with that extra toe removed and flipped.
Yeah.
I checked.
Anthony Boudram says, I wonder if Marvel is also doing Ultraman comics. Will they manage to get the Godzilla and Ultraman comics to cross over? Theoretically, it's possible, but that would also require licensing agreements from Toho and Supro as well.
Yeah.
So it would cost extra money. It's not like it would be as easy as simply preparing a new line, because you'd have to probably seek arrangements with both production studios.
Yeah, it's I put the 2016 footprint up. It's mirrored, but it's
Yep. It's literally the same thing, just the Duke claw removed.
Well, the vestigial digit.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we have this slide. Pretty self-explanatory.
Thank you for listening to our ramblings, everyone. It's been a pleasure talking Godzilla with y'all.
Right, so
it really has been a great day for monster fans, I would say.
Indeed, and only a week before the 11th anniversary of Godzilla 2014.
Yes.
Oh, I did want to bring up, right before ending, that. So there is a Titanus Doug Kaiju profile that's members only. The reason we haven't made that public is because, well, let's just say that it might become outdated if we uploaded it soon. So we're just holding off on it until who knows. But anyways, aside from
we're waiting on some additional information, behind the scenes stuff. I don't know if it'll necessarily become outdated, but there are some other things we want to clear up that we can't just yet.
I also won't spoil the actual subject, but we do have another KP in production right now as well. And all I will say is its subject is one of the franchise firsts. So I won't elaborate on who that is, but it is a fairly important character, you could say, even if their overall role in the franchise is fairly minor.
Franchise kind of loosely, but kind of the Toho tokusatsu sci-fi universe.
Yes.
No, we already did him.
We already did Biolante too.
Well, Biolante is a new.
We haven't done Bertrobe. We're so sorry.
We haven't done Abira. We haven't done Balls. We haven't.
All right, let's end the stream now before people start asking us to do more kaiju profiles.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so basically, that's coming along quite nicely. So there's that to enjoy as well in the not so distant future.
Maybe next Sunday, AD.
Also, if you guys somehow haven't seen the Shinden profile yet, I highly recommend checking it out. It might have been an April Fool's Day profile, but it is it has a ton of interesting information in it, specifically including a very long background section, which includes some very interesting real information on the Shinden. So if you've ever wondered about that aircraft and exactly if it was real or not, I recommend checking it out. You'll learn a lot.
There's a lot of people who were like, oh, I'm sad this is an April Fool's joke, because they want to see like vehicle profiles, and maybe, I mean, with our current output, maybe that's a little down the line, but it's always nice. And Les reminded me. Sorry, Koopa.
I just realized my speakers died, so I think I might have been talking over everyone. I'm sorry about that.
No, you weren't.
Oh, but, cool. Thank goodness for that.
Les reminded me that there's the Godzilla midterm plan, but if we want to just quickly glance over it, maybe if Les, you want to point out some highlights if nobody else wants to.
I love the phrase midterm plan. It's like, here's how Toho plans to pass its midterms.
So it's kind of like that the thing that came to mind is the Intellivision Amico from Tommy Tallarico, the behind the scenes plan of this. I guess this is a more like this is not.
I think
something
his mother's very proud.
Yes, he is. Yes, she is. This is something that we don't typically see. It's sent out to like investors and stuff, I think, rather than, you know, the consumer side.
My dad has a sort of rotating investment thing occasionally, and gets mail from kind of like this, although it's a little bit thicker usually.
The thing
a little bit more in depth on the finances, but yeah.
Okay, so page 16.
The thing which makes me interested as well. Oh, sorry for interrupting again. They mentioned in the intro as well that the 100th anniversary of the company is approaching. I'm not sure if it's looking that far ahead just yet, but you never know. Something might be coming out in 2032 to celebrate that. Yeah.
Yeah. So here it is, page 16. Godzilla strategy. Godzilla will evolve from a visual content business into a broader IP-driven brand. We allocate approximately 15 billion yen over the next 3 years to expand Godzilla's presence across multiple platforms and consumer touchpoints. And so basically they say, oh, we Toho own 100% of the Godzilla IP for 70 years. It's a globally popular, recognized character, so invest. And they say we plan on, you know,
I do think it's very funny. They're saying, oh yeah, the mobile games are for the casuals.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're adding 10 billion characters to Godzilla Battle Line.
And a metagame which gets more and more intense with every passing update.
4-star meta. But yeah, I mean, the interesting part here is that they say they want to develop Godzilla console games, which of course we haven't really seen much of that aside from Godzilla Voxel Wars.
And some and a rather mediocre one from PS.
It is remarkable that there's only one type of Godzilla game that every Godzilla fan wants, and every single studio refuses to make it.
Yeah, which it's like they're allergic to it. Like they're gonna suffer like corporate anaphylactic shock if they make another Godzilla fighting game.
Godzilla is approaching the generator.
You know, in my opinion, it's not horrible, the PS4 game, but it's just, I think it's clear it wasn't what people wanted, and from a technical standpoint as well, it was also really poorly optimized. Go into any stage and destroy a bunch of buildings and watch your frame rate fall through the floor.
Oh yeah, the last Godzilla console game, aside from Voxel Wars, was that Shin Godzilla VR tech demo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and there is a Godzilla. Well, it whatever it's called. It's in arcades. It's a big.
That's true.
Simulation.
Oh yeah, a mall semi close to me has that. I have to go back to try it out.
I saw it at a mall I went to, but I didn't play it.
You need to set aside a good 5 hours or so. No one else is allowed to play during that span. Completely immerse yourself in Godzilla VR.
And of course, Godzilla has been appearing in a good amount of games, you know, like Fortnite and whatnot.
Some might say too many.
Yeah, typically alongside Miku Hatsune, but
which is quite funny.
But yeah, I mean, that should be. Oh, it should be Godzilla.
Good point. Yeah, City Shrouded in Shadow as well. Featured Godzilla. I guess if we're talking dedicated Godzilla games that aren't crossovers, the Shin Godzilla VR tech demo was the last dedicated Godzilla game on a console, I guess, other than Voxel Wars.
So yeah, there's a Chibi Godzilla, Chibi Manila, Chibi Mechagodzilla, and Chibi Ghidorah. And then there's all this crap about a fulfilling workplace. Who cares? Yeah, anyways,
our fearless leader, everyone.
John Toho.
So yeah, Biolante just about sums it up with the thanks.
Like the Rose said.
So
thanks.
1v1 me on Battle Line. Maybe
I'm so sorry.
Hello.
maybe I don't know. Maybe it's worth doing that. Maybe. But anyways, I'm just postponing the inevitable now.
I am so sorry, Darth. It seems that everything's winding down now.
Thanks.
It happens.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you for coming, everyone. Hope you enjoyed.
Bye.
And have a monsterific May.
Yeah.